Hey, me and Josh did our project on the sea lamprey in the Great Lakes. As you can see, there's a couple of them on the side of like a display tank, kind of looking cool with the mouths open. What is a sea lamprey? A sea lamprey is an aggressive parasite equipped with a tooth-filled mouth that flares open at the end of its eel-like body. On the left, you can see the length, the weight, and the coloring, and the common names of them, as well as a picture below of what the average one kind of looks like.
Where do sea lamprey live? Sea lamprey are actually native to the Atlantic Ocean, but they have migrated to Great Lakes. The sea lamprey got in the lakes through shipping canals. They are found in all the Great Lakes, but most heavily in Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. In that red part of the lakes is a hot zone for the sea lamprey. Here's a picture of the Welland Canal from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie, and that's how they first invaded it and got into the final four Great Lakes. The life cycle of a sea lamprey. Sea lamprey start as eggs. They take a few weeks to hatch. They then turn into a larva that buries into a river bank, and they live for larvae for 2 to 3 years, and then go into transformation. During transformation, they develop sucker-like eyes and begin to get their teeth. Once they're mature and ready, they swim into the Great Lakes where they feed on fish, salmon, lake trout, mainly big fish like that. Once they reach sexual maturity, they'll go into a river and spawn, and then spawning's their last thing. They'll die after they spawn. Here's a diagram of that, and you can see all the phases: spawning, the larval, the transformation, and then the parasite, which is what most people know them as.
What does sea lamprey eat? Sea lamprey can eat up to 40 pounds of fish during its lifetime. They attach onto the sides of many large predatory fish, such as lake trout and salmon, and live off the blood and body fluids, oftentimes leaving circular scars. The impact on the local fishery from sea lamprey were a major cause of the collapse of the lake trout and whitefish and chub populations in the Great Lakes during the 1940s and 50s. The United States and Canada harvest about 15 million pounds of lake trout in the upper Great Lakes each year. By the 1960s, the catch was only about 300,000 pounds. In Lake Huron, the catch fell from 3.4 million pounds in 1937 to almost nothing in 1947. The catch in Lake Michigan dropped from 5.5 million pounds in 1946 to 402 pounds by 1953. The Lake Superior catch dropped from an average of 4.5 million pounds to 368,000 pounds in 1961. Here is a chart of the red is the lake trout and their percentage populations in Lake Superior over the years, and the blue is when the sea lamprey first got started. As you can see, once they started, the lake trout really declined, and the vast drop-off with the sea lamprey is that was the first year they started stream control removal plans, and as you can see, that really helped, and then the lake trout population got boosted back up.
Removal and control of sea lamprey. Tributaries are treated with a lampricide. They prevent the lamprey from entering or exiting, and that's before they become the parasites. TFM is the main control and is not harmful to other fish, mammals, or humans. And throughout the state, 175 streams are treated with TFM. Another control and removal method, small barriers have been made, like the one at the top of the right corner, that reduce and stop the travel of lamprey, but other fish can proceed through with very little disturbance. And sea lamprey are also trapped in various areas in the Great Lakes. Oftentimes the U.S. Fish and Wildlife workers will cut the sexual organs out of the male and release them back into the wild, so they think they're spawning, but they're doing no good for anyone, which kills more than just killing one at a time.
The economic implications of the Great Lakes are huge. Today, the fishery is worth up to $7 billion annually, and the people of Canada and United States. Nearly 5 million people fish the Great Lakes annually, and the fishery supports tens of thousands of jobs. Sea lamprey control is a major contributor to this valuable fishery.
For our professional interview, we contacted a DNR fisheries person. His name was Phil Scheenberg. We asked him what are new control methods and what is the most common control method. He said the main control method is using TFMs, like mentioned before, and other main methods are trapping and sterile mare release, which that's when they cut the sexual organs out. New methods are using pheromones to attract and repel to and from streams, and the use of balucide in grain form to kill the larvae. That sinks into the sand and kills them while they're still a larvae. And then, how do we keep them out of the Great Lakes? He said that's not the problem. Once population is established, there's no point in trying to stop them. Just slow them down and control them.
Is there any good use for them? No. He said once they tried selling them to European countries like Spain and Portugal because they like their sea lamprey pie, but they said they didn't taste the same as the saltwater ones because they only lived in freshwater. And once they found out about all the contaminants in Lake Michigan, such as the mercury and the PCBs, they no longer wanted to buy them. And do they still have a large impact on the fish of the Great Lakes, and what species are affected most? Any large fish is a target. They prefer salmon and lake trout to carp and other large species because the scales are way easier to penetrate. And yes, they have an impact, but not as much as it was. The millions spent each year are the reason that the impact is so low. But he also said for every 10 fish caught with a lamprey attached, 100 fish have died from a lamprey attack. And these are our, websites we use to kind of help us with the presentation. So, thanks guys.